right, man. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I know that we were just kind of chatting off air about your story and things like that. So for those of us who may not know the whole story of Razak, I know that you're in the UFC and you're a fighter, but there's so much more to your story. So if you don't mind just kind of starting from your childhood, how you came to the country and how you got into MMA.
Yeah, so this will be a long story.
All right, let's go.
But when I was a kid, most of my mom's side, they love boxing. A lot of them grew up doing boxing. So when I grew up, I wanted to be into a little sports that way. But my brother was huge into it. My brother was he's more like he likes martial art. So he would join kung fu, taekwondo. You know, they do it on the street, or some of them would go to the beach in the morning, and you don't have money, so you just join and then you do it. So when I saw him doing it, I wanted to do it too. He would come home with the judo gi and everything, so it looks really cool. It looked like I was like, this looked like from the movies. So I was like, hey brother, I want to do it too. You know, he's like, no, and he would take all my friends. I was about 8, 9 at this time. He would take all my friends, my little friends that I play with. He would take them. He would not take me. So one day, I knew he was going to judo, and we take a bus to the judo place. So I waited till I know where he's gonna go before he goes to the stadium. So I rented a bicycle. Back home, we can rent a bicycle. People rent. You give them. So I have a friend that rents bicycle. So I give him cheap. I was like, hey, it's gonna take me a few hours before I come home. So let me ride. So I rented the bike, and the bus that was going. I went to the bus and I grabbed the side of the bus, and the bus pulled me.
Oh, so you didn't have to actually bike.
Exactly. So you just hold and then it pulled me. Or else, if I have to follow the bus, I will miss it. I will not gonna make it. So it pulled me, and I followed him. He didn't see me.
And the bus driver didn't notice you hanging on.
In Africa, we do that. Nobody cares. The bus driver, they don't care. Everybody does that. So I waited till he started. We got to the stadium, and I waited till he started the class. And when he started the class, I went to the coach. He was a Japanese man. I went to him. I was like, I want to do judo. He's like, really? Okay, yeah. Do you want to start today? I was like, yeah. He said, take your shoes off and get on the mat. My brother saw me, the anger in his eye when he saw me. Wow. He was so upset. But I didn't care. I was so happy. And I joined. And that's when judo started. I fell in love with the judo. My brother ended up stopping. I was able to win that. I beat the number 1 in the division, and this time I've only been there for 2 years. So I guess they saw some prospect in me, so they added me to the team, the judo team. So, and I started competing with them. So to not make things too long, the judo helped me a lot because we were born poor. We don't have money. At the age of 13, my mom stopped feeding me. My dad, my dad got stuck in Liberia through the war, so he couldn't come back. So my mom was the only one looking at us. So judo, anytime we travel, they'll give us US dollars. They'll give us $90, $80. And for Africa to see, that's a lot of money. I was when I got the money, I'll be buying clothing, for myself, my school clothing, my shoes, and at that time too, I was talking to, you are the first person I'm telling this on.
I appreciate it.
At that time, I like using, I was go to the internet cafe, and Yahoo chat was very big then. So I met this lady from Minnesota, and her and I were talking at that time. So any money that I'll make, sometimes even going to school, when they give me money to take a bus to go to school, I'll save the money and I'll walk to school.
Oh, wow.
That's like almost 5 miles. Wow. And I'll walk to school. I'll get to school. My whole clothing is drenched. I will not eat the whole day. And then the money, I'll take it to go to the internet cafe so I can talk to her. So to get things short, I made it to the All African Games. It's like Olympics for All Africans. I was so happy. I was so joyful. I went there. Of course, I didn't perform like the way I wanted to perform, but I was happy that I made it.
Of course.
I made the team one, and we came back. They gave us $900 each.
Okay.
Oh my God! I felt like the rich man. And then I applied for a world championship in Georgia, here in the United States.
In the state of Georgia. Okay.
Yeah, it's a judo, but it was happening in Georgia.
Okay.
I sent them an email that I want them to send me an invitation because I want to join.
Right.
I want to come and compete. And since they saw that I was in All African Games, I was like, oh yeah. They gave me and I told one of my friends that, hey, I got a invitation from the United States. He was screaming loud because it's not easy to get it.
Right.
Because to come to America, coming from Africa, holy crap.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Right.
Right. Especially the embassy wants you to show that you have a lot of money, that when you go, you'll come back, or somebody to support you with their bank account to show that if you go, you will come back.
I see. And not just stay in America.
Not just stay in America because you want to come back. So I told one of my friends that I went to the All African Games with. And he's like, I'll do it with you. So I added his name to it. And the $900 they gave us, we used that to process the visa and everything. We went to, this is where the hardship started in the beginning. I talked to our coach at that time and then our manager for judo. And I talked to them, I was like, hey, I got the invitation. I cannot, the United States Embassy will not accept me. But if the Judo Association is behind it, they will help. And the secretary was like, okay, we will help with the letter and everything, but we're not going to help with any money. So if you want to go, the money has to come from your own pocket for you to go. So the $900 they gave us,
it's not enough, right?
No, it's not.
Flight alone.
Nope, exactly. So we used the $900 to do all the paperwork and everything. We got to the embassy for me to get the visa. They said you have to tell all truth, anything, and everything. All my friends, the coach, the secretary, and my friend, they got a visa, and I didn't get it. And she called me and she asked me, do you know anybody in the United States? I cannot lie. So I told her, yes, there's a lady in the United States that I'm talking to. And it's like, so how do we know if you go to America, you're not going to run to her?
Right.
Of course. I'm trying to live the Africa. I go 3 days without eating, 4 days without eating. I don't want to stay in Africa, but I'm not going to tell the lady, hey. Of course, no, I'm not. So I told her, no. I'll come back with everything. I was like, look at my passport. The same place that I went to, my teammate, we all went to the same place. We compete. I'm part of the national team. The lady was like, okay, go sit down. And he called my coach and was like, do you believe him? Do you think he'll come? The coach was like, oh, yeah. We all, if you look at our visa, like he said, all of us have the same stamp in our visa. So, and they gave me 3 months to come here. I swear to God, I've never slept so good. I've never run in the streets so far, screaming.
Going to America, right?
Going to America.
How old were you at this point?
I was 17.
17 years old.
Yes.
Never left Ghana, I'm assuming.
Yes. I went to Africa, Mauritius for the championship.
Oh, for the judo games?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I went to Algeria for the before I was leaving. That was when I made a little money to be able to start eating.
Right.
So I was so joyful. I got home. I was screaming at my dad. My dad was sick at that time.
Okay.
He cannot even get off the bed.
Okay.
I got home, I was screaming, Dad, I got the visa. Dad was like, I told you you're going to get it. I prayed for you so much. I was screaming. But I was happy that I got it. It wasn't because of me. I was happy I got it because of my dad. The pain he's gone through is just so much. He was a trader. So he goes to Liberia and then he'll buy goods from there, bring it to Africa, bring it to Ghana, and then sell it. So when he got to Liberia, the war started in Liberia. So he got stuck in Liberia. So for almost 5-6 years, we thought he was dead.
And no communication.
No communication, nothing. We thought he was dead. And then we got a cassette tape that came, and we played, and it was him. Wow. We were so joyed. So we just turned the cassette tape, and we recorded over the tape. And we sent it to the people who brought it. And was like, hey, tell them, we don't care. If you don't have money, you don't have anything, just come to us.
Yeah.
We want you, just come to us. My dad came home, he looked like a madman. His clothing is torn, no shoes, nothing. But we're happy we had him. But since he came home, he was never the same.
From the war, you're saying? PTSD?
Sick.
Yeah.
Got skinny. Like, you can literally see his bones. So I was happy that I was coming to America.
For him.
To make money so I can, pay for his hospital bills and all of those kind of stuff. I came here not even 2 years. He died. I couldn't even take care of him. But to get to when I got to America, my brother had to borrow money from one of the, I would not say a mafia, but it's more like a gangster
Okay.
in Africa that he sells drugs and stuff like that. So my brother told him, hey, my brother's trying to go to America. He doesn't have money for tickets to get, so can you please buy his ticket for him? And then when he gets there, he will work
And pay you
and
back.
then pay you back, you know. So my brother talked to him. He bought the ticket for me. So imagine if I had come to America and then I went back without the money.
You
I
know
don't
what's
think-
going to happen. Yeah.
I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You know, we flew, but my coaches and my secretary, they didn't know that I was planning that I was not coming back, right? Because we all talk about, because one, I was also the ace for them. I was the number one in my division. If we want to go to a lot of championship and win, I have to qualify. So me leaving, they're also losing
The
their
best, yeah.
Yes. So we went to Georgia. We went to the competition. After we weighed in with our passport, they took our passport away from us right away.
When you got to America.
Yes.
I see.
Our secretary coaches, they took the passport away from us right away. It's like, because they in the back of their head, they knew we were trying to run away.
Right.
So they took the passport from us, and then they called us again for the weigh-in to fill out a registration. They said, hey, we need your passport and everything. So the secretary, they gave us the passport again to go fill it out. When they gave it to us, they forgot to take my friend's passport, but they took mine. They forgot to take it. So now I'm trying to find a way that after the competition, we're fighting the next day. I was thinking to myself, after the next day, I need to find a way to get the passport so I can run away.
Right.
They wouldn't want to give it to me. So I called the lady that I was talking to. And she didn't know I was here. I didn't tell her I was coming.
Yeah.
So, and then I called her from the hotel. I asked the people, how can I call somebody from a different state? And they showed me. So I called her and I was like, hey, guess what? She's like, what? I was like, I'm in America. She's like, wait, what?
Holy shit.
How did you get to America? And I was like, to the judo stuff.
Right.
She's like, where are you right now? I was like, I'm in Georgia. She's like, you got to get to me right now. I'm like, I can't. They took my passport. And then she's like, give me the phone and call the secretary so I can talk to him. I guess she told him, hey, I've been talking to Razak for a long time, and I think you guys know about me because I've been bragging about her to everybody. I'm talking to a lady from America. Not just that lady was helping me so much because she knew I couldn't eat. I'll go days, and I'm using the money that when they give money for school, we only get one time money to go to school, one day. Because I told her, and she knows I was using the money to talk to her in the cafe. She'll buy like cereal, like a bunch of stuff that's cannot spoil, and then she'll post it to me. In Africa. So I swear she helped me so much.
Who was this lady that you're referring to? Was she an older lady? Was she your age?
No,
was
she's like 10 years older than me.
She was just this good-hearted woman who just wanted to take
and
care.
I want to be romantic with her.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So she helped. She was helping me eat.
Okay.
Because she knew how I was starving.
And you, sorry to cut you, but you met her just through Yahoo chat? Just randomly.
Just randomly.
Wow. Okay.
I was so happy. I was like, this lady might help me live this.
Yeah, Ghana life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This. Oh my God. I was like, this lady will help me live. So she did. So I called her and she took the phone and she talked to my secretary and she's like, hey, there's nowhere else I can come to America without seeing me. I like him. I know you guys all have heard about me. It's like, yeah. It's like, you know what? I will send you $100. Let Razak come to me and see me, and then I'll fly him the next day to come back, and then you guys can go back to Africa.
Right.
Of course, I knew she was not going to let me come back, but she's telling him, and then she's sending money and then he gave me my passport. The lucky thing is, the time I was going to leave, they went to McDonald's to go buy food to eat. And then I told my friend, hey, you and I both be struggling. I already know, we already talked about it, that you're not going to stay here. But he doesn't have anywhere to go. So he said, can I come with you so she can help us?
Yeah.
So I told her, we left. I went to the phone. I went to the front desk, and I told him, please, where can I get the taxi to go to the Greyhound station? She bought me Greyhound ticket to go, and the guy called a taxi guy. To my bad luck, the taxi guy was another African.
Holy shit. Okay.
Right? The taxi guy took us to the Greyhound. We talked to the taxi guy, all of our plans. Hey, we're trying to leave. You know, you're also from Africa. You know how it is. So, and then we left. The secretary came back, and our coach came back, and they realized not just me.
The other guy.
The other guy is also gone. They went straight to the front desk, and then they asked them, "Hey, have you seen the two guys we came with that was competing?" So, oh, we just got them
a taxi.
a taxi. They went to the Greyhound. It's like, no, can you call the taxi guy back? And then they called the taxi, the same taxi. And the taxi guy spilled all our story to him. So he got into the car, and now they come into the Greyhound station to get us. But I think God was just trying to help us so much. When we got there was this black lady at the counter. We talked to her. We were having so much conversation with her. We're telling her about Africa. We're telling her, hey, you got to go visit. You're going to like it, you know. So she really liked us. And we didn't hide anything. We told her, hey, we're trying to have the American life, the American dream everybody's talking about. We want to have that. She was so happy for us. Not even 20 minutes talking to her, our secretary and our coach showed up right there. I swear, my heart just sank.
I bet.
It's like I was feeling chills from the dead. They grabbed both of us. They took our passport. It's like, you're not going anywhere. At that time, I was like, okay, I don't care. I'm running.
Yeah.
I'm not staying. I run straight inside the bus. I was like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I run straight inside the bus, and I sat in the bus. I was shaking. I was in the bus shaking. These people are gonna send me home. If I get home, I'm dead. There's no way. Why am I gonna make $2,000?
Yeah.
To pay the gangster that gave me I've never seen $1,000 in my life. The money I got was $900, and I spent all of them. $2,000 in Africa is going to take me 100 years for me to pay this guy.
Yeah.
I was shaking, and secretary came in front of the Greyhound was about to leave, and he went and did like this, kneeled down in front of the Greyhound. It's like, if you don't let this guy come out of the bus, the only way he's gonna go is if you have to
run me over,
me right here. Holy shit! Fuck! I was shaking, crying, and the lady was like, "Boy, come down." Right? I don't want to use the curse word. She said, "Boy, come down." And she went to her secretary. She's like, "You B word. This is effing America. Free will. You cannot effing take them away. Look, I don't care who you are. I will F you up.
Yeah.
You cannot take them. They stand here. I'm going to call the cops." And then I got scared. My friend got scared. He was like, please don't call the cops.
Yeah.
The cops are going to send them back. He's like, no. He's like, don't worry. I got you guys. I'm take care of you. The cop came. She went to the cops. Like, this MF trying to take them back. Right? This kid, they don't want to go anywhere. He's trying to kidnap them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. The lady, I swear the lady was a savior. It's like God sent. Right? The lady was like, you better let them go right now, or you're going to get...
Right.
And then the cop came. The cop was like, how old are you? My friend was 18. He was above me. How old are you? I think it was 19 at that time. 19. And how old are you? I was like, 17. And he was like, okay. Do you want to go with them? I was like, no. And he's like, okay, you're not 18. If you're 18, we can tell you to go. But are you saying this guy can be your guardian? I was like, yeah, him. This guy. I was like, yeah, him. He's my guardian.
Yeah.
And then the cop was like, okay. It's like, the lady, and then the lady was like, he took their passport. He took their passport. Take him. And the cop was like, give me the passport.
Wow.
All this time I was still shaking. I thought the cop was going to be like, go home. The cop opened the passport and he looked. The good thing is I got 3 months. But when I got to the airport in Georgia, the immigration stamped me another 3 months. So I got 6 months. And then look at my passport and look at my friend. My friend got 9 months. And then he gave my friend his passport and he gave him, and it's like, if you touch them, I will arrest you right now.
She said that he said it to the
He
secretary.
said that to the secretary.
Wow.
And I was like, wait, we good? He's like, yeah, if you touch them, I will arrest you right now. They are old enough, they can go wherever they want to go. You cannot touch them. This is America. I was like, oh my God. The lady, we picked the lady up, we started hugging the lady. I swear to God. Oh my God.
Wow.
Yes, that was our own people trying to send us back when we're trying to have that
A better
American
life.
dream. Yeah. But since then, we took the Greyhound, and then I went to her in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when everything started. The stuff that happened, it's just a bunch of coincidence that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing she has a chiropractor,
Okay.
and the chiropractor is a judo instructor.
Ah.
So when I was in Georgia, when I was fighting, the chiropractor he was the doctor for that tournament.
Wow.
I know, the coincidence is just crazy.
Wow.
And at that time, I was fighting. His name is I keep forgetting. He was the number one seed in America for judo. I know his name is Steven.
We can look him up. You
yeah.
can look him up. Just look up number one.
Judo 81 kilo. He was 3-time Olympian for United States.
And then just type in Steve.
Steven, I think.
He'll find it.
And I fought against him. I didn't know who he was at that time, right? So, because usually at that time, when you know somebody who's fought on the world stage like that, you're so nervous, you're so scared that you lose.
It
You
affects
lose
your performance. Yeah.
But I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who this
was a
guy was
blessing.
at all. And I fought this guy all the way 5 minutes, no point. So we had to go to extra time, right? People were cheering, whoa, whoa, people were cheering. And then in the final, he got me with a foul.
Oh, he fouled you.
Fouled me, yes.
So you won on foul.
No, he won.
Oh, he won.
But when I came out, everybody was clapping. Whoa,
Yeah.
good job, shaking. And I'm looking at this guy. What the hell are you guys talking about? I just lost. Why are you guys clapping at me?
Right.
I'm breathing like wheezing like there was no tomorrow here. And then they told me the guy that you fought is the number one seed. He beats everybody. Nobody lasts with that guy.
Right.
And I was like, really? And I was like, him? I was like, okay. I was happy I didn't know who he was.
Right.
But that performance, when she took me to him to see him as a chiropractor, she's like, oh, I remember you. I was at a competition. Man, that was really amazing what you did, you know. A lot of people haven't been able to fight that guy the way you fought the guy. And I was like, if I knew who he was, I would have lost a long time ago.
Right.
I didn't know who he was. That's why. And then he asked me if I want to join his gym. So I joined his gym. I pretty much beat all his number one guys. Then it's like, so he added me to his team. So he would take me to Wisconsin, Chicago, and then I'll be competing there. But at that time, that's when I decided I needed more money. I came here to work, to make money, but because of the training, I'm not making so much money. So I wanted to stop the judo. But this is where that lady helped me a lot. She told me, look, I've been talking to you for a while. Sport is your dream. You've been trying to do it for all this time since I've been talking to you. Why do you want to stop? I'm like, I want to make money.
Right.
She's like, look, I have a house. I don't want you to pay me anything. Don't pay me no bills. Just live in here, because I was already paying my bill before you got here. So you just work part-time. The money that you make, send to your parent, and then you can be able to work. I have food in the house. So pretty much almost like 4 or 5 years, I didn't have to do.
Amazing.
I was just working part-time jobs, right? Because I stopped the judo for a little bit, and I was working 3 jobs at a time. I wasn't able to go to training or anything like that. So she made me stop all that. And then I started doing part-time job so I can make money and send to my family back home, so I can be able to train.
Sure.
So through that, now I'm getting back to how I got into MMA. So through that, after she did all that to me, my judo coach, hired a kickboxing guy to come and teach kickboxing in the gym. And the guy was like, hey, I've heard a lot about you from the owner, you know, the head coach. Is like, oh, so why don't you come join my class? And I'm like, no, I'm not interested. I want to go to Olympics for judo. I'm not interested. And it's like, no, I don't. I'm not saying you should leave judo and come join me. Just use my judo as a workout. And, you know, so and then since he said that, I was like, okay, good. So right after judo, his class is right after judo. So right after judo, I joined his class. And him and I became friends. I joined his class. 3 months after he joined his class, he's like, hey, I found you a fight.
Oh, wow.
I was like, no, I didn't tell you I want to fight. I was just doing it for fun. It's like, no, don't be the B word.
Yeah.
You know, don't be, you know. It's like, look, all the guys are fighting. There's about 6 of us. All of them are fighting. Why not? Everybody's, just try it. If you don't like it, then you stop it. for 2 days before the fight, I couldn't sleep.
You're nervous,
Never scared.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't something I wanted to do
Of course.
at all, right? I went there, by God's grace, I won in like 30, 40 seconds. I won the fight. And he's like, oh, see, I told you, you're very good. I'm like, no, it was scary. I don't want to do it. Again, I was like, we're done now. We don't want to do it. Not even 3 months, the next one. It's like, oh, the same promotion, the people, it was a small, like a kickboxing stuff. Oh, they're doing it again. They want to have you. They said they really like, I'm like, why don't you talk to me first before you get the fight? You know, he did it. It's like, man, don't be like that. And then when he says that at the gym, everybody's like, oh, don't be a B word.
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
be, you know, don't
you
be
could
scared.
say it if you want.
Oh,
It's up to you. We curse freely here.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's
yeah,
what I said. It's like, stop being a bitch.
Yeah.
Go fight. I did the second time. I thought it would get better. It didn't. I was still scared as hell. My fourth fight, it took me my fourth fight for me to be like, okay, F it. Let's do this.
The nerves have subsided a little. Yeah.
Yes. I think my fourth fight, the reason why I was less nervous, the fight was in Oklahoma, I think. I have one of my friends was fighting before me. And before the fight, I was watching his fight, and my friend got beat so bad. Like, he was bleeding everywhere. Like, Carl was literally bleeding. Carl is how do I say it? He's not a gifted type.
Okay.
So he's not
talented naturally,
exactly.
just
so
works
him,
hard.
But he works so hard just so he can. So we know how much work he put in, but no matter how much he try, it doesn't come to him like that. So watching him get beat, and then at the last end, the guy hit him and then knocked him out, and he was bleeding everywhere. And I've never felt that kind of anger in my heart. I was so pissed off seeing my friend like that. That was the first time, like, something switched. I was like, I want to fight right now. Get me in. I want to fight.
Interesting.
I want to fight. That was when it clicked. In that fight, I was no smile, nothing. I had this
killer instinct.
I went in there and I just dropped the guy so bad, just so I can. That's when it switched. I'm like, okay, if I'm doing this, then let's do it. And the kickboxing coach, John Hendricks. I don't know if you heard of him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, John Hendricks, coach. His team hired him.
Okay.
To be a trainer for John Hendricks. So he told him, hey, I have an athlete that I've been training with, and he's very good. If I move to Texas, I don't want to let him go. Can I come with me? And he's like, okay, you can bring him, and he can train with John Hendricks. And if he's good enough, right, we will help him. We will pay for him to train. So when I came, they did a test for me to
like a workout.
To spar with John Hendricks. And John Hendricks was like, oh, I like him. I like training with him. So they're like, okay, hey, if you come, every week you train with John Hendricks, we'll give you $250.
Oh, nice.
To train with him. But I was like, I stay Canada.
You were in Minnesota still at the time?
So, and at that time, I was working for Delta part-time. So you can fly for free. So I'll come to Texas. I'll fly to Texas for 4 days. And then I'll go back to Minnesota for 3 days. And then I'll work. Because I can fly for free. So for almost 4 years, I just every 4 days.
Wow.
How
How long is that flight?
2 hours.
Okay, not bad, but still
hours.
exhausting.
Yeah, every week.
Just getting on a plane every week.
So for 4 days, I'll come for 4 days, train, and then I'll leave for 3 days. But the money was helping because after I pay my bills, I have 35. I have that number every time. After I pay my bills and everything, I have $35 left. So that $35 have to hold me up
until next
to the
week,
to the next one. But I was so happy, especially being in the kind of people I was being around. Johnny Hendricks, the Rochelle brothers.
Which gym was this? It wasn't Jackson Wink, was it?
No. This one was in Texas.
Texas?
This one, Team Takedown.
Team Takedown?
That's the name of the company.
Was this during like the GSP fight?
GSP, yeah. I was training with him before the GSP fight.
Okay.
I was his training partner. I started training with him after he lost to Rick Story.
Okay.
That's when I started training with him. So I was with John Hendricks when he
Nice.
fought GSP all that time.
Yeah.
I was his training partner. I was his number one training partner. So I was training with him. So that's how, and then they started helping me. And then I ended up getting fights through them.
Okay.
My first fight was with Bellator. Bellator brought me in to lose. I took the
It's
fight.
funny. Who do we have on yesterday? He said the same thing. Zach Pauga.
Oh,
He said the same thing. He
Yeah.
said they brought me in to lose.
Yep. Yeah. They
Yeah.
definitely broke. The guy was fighting. The guy was like what, 16-1, and I'm 0-0.
So this was your first pro fight.
Yes. They
Okay.
brought me. No, wait. Sorry, I'm mistaken. That was my second fight. Yes, because my first fight was a local show. Yes, a local show.
Okay.
And then the second fight, the Bellator called the team takedown, and it was like, hey, we need someone for 4 days notice.
Oh shit.
To fight.
At what weight class?
Middleweight, 185.
And what were you? Did you have a big cut?
At that time I was working really low, so they said we'll make it a catch weight
Okay.
at 190, I think.
Okay.
And I came in at weight at 189.
Okay. So it was an easy-ish
Yeah,
cut.
but they were like, oh, we'll give him $2,000 to show, $2,000 to win. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I need that money. I will
Yeah.
take it. Even though if I go there, I lose, I'm still make $2,000.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Yeah.
Let's go. I went there because I know they brought me in to lose. I went in there. I guess my training with John Hendricks got me confident that I wasn't scared of the guy. It's the way I was supposed to be scared of the guy. And then boom, I knocked him out.
Nice.
And I got 4,000 G's.
Nice.
The first thing I did when I left there, after I paid the coaches the money, the first thing I went and bought a ring.
A ring?
Yeah.
Jewelry?
Yeah, for my wife. She's
Ah,
been talking,
nice.
proposed to me the whole time.
Nice.
So the first check I made, I spent $2,500 of that check.
Wow.
That's what I bought her.
The financial advisor in me is not happy about
I
that.
know, but I was so happy. I was like, and also she wanted this ring called the Tanzanite. It's like an African stone.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So when I went there, I got it. She lost the ring not even 6 months after. And then I bought
So
it.
did you get married to the same woman in Minnesota? A different one.
Different one.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. The one in Minnesota, it got to a point, things didn't
Work
go
out.
very well because she had kids
Uh-huh.
then, and the kids were not easy to deal with.
Right.
So,
My kids aren't easy to deal with.
I know. I have a few of them now, so
Yeah.
I know how it is.
Yeah.
So, but her and I, if till today, we are very good friends.
Beautiful,
Because
beautiful.
the way she helped me, I can never repay her. If it wasn't for her, I don't think I would still be doing MMA. I would have gave up all my.
Right. God bless this woman, whoever she
Exactly.
is.
Yes. So if it wasn't for her, I would have gave up all the sports just so I can work and make money and feed my family. So she helped me big time.
Wow.
And then that's how everything.
So you at this point you won the fight in Bellator. You were still traveling back and forth from Texas to Minnesota. How did you get to Denver?
Denver was actually Kamaru.
Okay.
So after Team Takedown actually fell apart. After Johnny Hendricks, after his fight with GSP, there was a little bit of internal
Right.
fight. So,
Conflict, yeah.
Yes. So they broke apart.
Okay.
And when they broke apart, Team Takedown was like, hey, my coach, they were upset at my coach because the coach was training John Hendricks at the same time. But they told him, hey, we are paying you. And John Hendricks is not part of the team right now, so we don't want you to train with him.
Sure.
But he's a very Christian guy. He likes to help. So for him, he's like, I don't mind. I'll still help him on the side. And then they end up firing him too. So, and then since I'm his fighter, I came with him. They asked me, hey, we're still going to sign you. So you need to stop training with this time they told me to move to Texas.
Okay.
So this time I moved to Texas. They told me to move, so I moved.
Okay.
But then they told me like, hey, we need you to stop training with Steve. And I'm like, can I think about it? Because if it wasn't for Steve, I wouldn't be here with you.
Right.
He got the job through you guys, but he's the one that brought me here.
Right.
If I leave, it's going to be betrayal. So let me talk to him. At that time, they gave me a car to drive. They helped me get my apartment. They rented an apartment for me too.
Okay.
But then they took everything away.
After
I said no, I have to stick with my coach. They took everything away. So now I have to go start struggling
Yeah.
all over again.
Mm-hmm.
So when the team disbanded, we started doing our own thing. And Kamaru realized that the training is not as intense that I was having. He realized that my performance was not good.
Mm-hmm.
So he told me, hey, come to I went to Florida and trained with him for a little bit then. But
Where was this, Black Zillions or Sanford?
No, Sanford.
Sanford?
Yeah, I went and trained with him there. And actually, there was a thing before that. before Kamaru was going to go on the Ultimate Fighter, Kamaru needed another 170 pounder. So Kamaru called me. He's like, "Hey, bro, I want to help you. Why don't you come and join the team so we can be part of that? So we can be part of Black Zillions fighting against the American Top Team." But and then the Team Takedown, since I was signed under them, it was like, "No, we're not gonna let him do it." So I didn't end up doing it. But again, Kamaru was like, "Hey, why don't you come to Colorado and then do some training here?" So I started coming to Colorado like a week, 1, 2, and then train from here.
The same hammer that I've been to, the same gym?
Yeah, that time we're going to Easton.
Oh, Easton, or
The
training,
Easton
okay.
gym, because everybody would meet over there. Because I'll train with Kamaru, and then on Tuesdays and Friday we'll be sparring, and we'll come to Easton and then do the training. And then Mo, his little brother, actually decided to move here permanently. So he moved here, and he was going to fight in PFL. That's when I met Cody and Vinny.
Got it.
Through him after his fight, and I told him, "Hey, I'm trying to move here and start doing my camp here." So that's how I met them. We talked, and then that's when I moved.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, what a fucking story, man.
I know, man.
What a story.
I know. It's
Jesus. You know, I'm an immigrant as well, and I left when I was 1, so I don't remember all the chaos of Iran. I'm not sure if you guys have been following the news, but there's some crazy protests going on in my country right now. Wow. And I got emotional just listening to your story, because although I've had a beautiful life and I'm very blessed, it's because of what my parents did. You know, they were my age with 2 kids, left a country that was in war and had a revolution, and came here and had a good life in Iran, and went to being no house, no nothing. And we were very, very poor up until I was maybe 8 or 9, but I never felt poor. I felt rich
because they were taking
exactly.
Yes, yeah.
And then we slowly, by the time I graduated high school, my father had started making good money and we had a good life. But I always resonate with stories like yours, because I realized, had my parents not sacrificed, I would be in that fucked up country right now, living a very, very shitty life.
Yeah.
And you like the same. I mean, you're Ghanaian. Ghanaian, is that?
Yes, Ghanaian.
And
yes.
I'm sure you're very proud of your country, but we both come from countries that we're very blessed to be in America.
Because you know, if you were there, you would never be able to have what you have. Because back home, if I have to remember most of the pain that I go through, like I'll go 3 days without food.
That's
like,
crazy.
My friends will be eating. You see your friends eat, and then while they're eating, go to them and be like, "Hey, bro, you just put
little
your hand
bit,
out,
yeah.
and you put a little bit in my hand, and they'll put a little bit in your hand." It got to a point that every friend noticed that when they get the food and don't have money, we go to them and be like, "Can you put a little bit in my hand?" It got to a point that when a friend we all know how we're suffering. When they go 3 days without food, right, and now they have money, they want to hustle, they have some money to go eat. When they get the food, they'll go and hide. I also did that because the food is not enough
for you to
fill
share.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when you share, by the time you're done, there's nothing left, you know? So it got to a point, even the friends will hide. Wow. Will hide the food. They'll buy food, or when they will look, nobody's around, and then they'll go and hide.
Yeah.
And then they'll eat the food. It's
crazy.
There was a lady back home too that helped me a lot. She sell food on the street. So I think at the age of 15, because at the age of 13 is when my mom, they start feeding
Cut
me,
you off, yeah.
everybody. So I have to start feeding myself. At the age of 15, there was this lady. She was, because of her, every night I was able to eat. She sells, it's a food we call kenke, right? And it's very heavy. It's made of corn, like a fermented corn, and it's very heavy. And it's like huge ball, like this, like this. So they'll put almost about 100 of them in a huge bowl, and then you put it on your head, right? And it's so heavy, when you're walking, it's like one step at a time.
Yeah.
I carried for that lady for almost 2 years before I left Africa. Before I left, my neck, I never walked straight. My neck was always like this because I was carrying. But every time I carry her food to the street side where she's going to sell it, when I get there, she would take one of
and give it to you.
And give it to me, and with fish so I can go eat.
I see.
So every night, I knew no matter what, even if I go and hustle and I don't make money, when I come to that lady, when I help her that night,
Yeah.
I'll be able to have food to eat.
Do you go back often, or have you gone back yet?
Since I've gone one time since I
Mhm.
came, and even that one time I only gone one for 1 week, and I went. The reason why I it's hard when you're going back home. You have to plan it, like
Yeah.
really, really plan it. When I was going there, I was going with a friend he's from Pakistan. He wanted to do business, and it's like, hey, I'm going to Ghana. I don't know anybody there. So can you come with me? But I'm like, hey, I haven't gone to Ghana in a long time. So pretty much I'm gonna be the same
Yeah.
when I go to Ghana. But it's like, I want you to come with me so I can learn some few stuff. So I was like, okay, let's go. So I called a couple of my friends so they can be like a lead. I didn't even tell my mom I was coming.
Mm-hmm.
My mom only found out I was there the day before I was leaving to the airport.
Oh wow.
I just surprised her, did whatever I have to do for her.
Yeah.
And then, because my mom came here and lived with me.
Oh nice.
After I started fighting the UFC and I was making a little money, I filed for her.
Uh-huh.
And then she came and lived with me for almost 2-3 years.
Nice.
And then she went back again.
Nice.
So, but when I went there, I saw her for the last day.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so in Africa, you have to plan when you're going.
Yeah.
So let's say if I go to Africa and I have 3 bags to go to Africa, not even one is coming with me.
Yep.
So that's why I didn't prepare for it. That's why I didn't tell people I was coming. Even the couple of friends that I told that I was coming, a couple of friends learned about it. My luggage, I didn't come back with even the clothing I was wearing, right, was a new clothing that I bought in Africa.
Wow.
And wore to come back to the United States, because your friends will see, I like that shoe. Can
Yeah,
you give
they
it to
want
me?
everything. Yeah.
I like that pants. So pretty much I gave everything away.
Wow.
So imagine if everybody knew I was coming.
Yeah, of course.
All the friends that I grew up with, they would take literally everything. You have to plan.
Yeah.
So I didn't tell them.
What a story. One thing that really stood out to me in that story, just on the martial arts component, was that switch that went off when you saw your buddy get beat down. I know just from sparring, in the limited sparring that I've done, that fighting is very mental.
It is.
Is very, very mental. Have you continued that switch when you enter the cage, or what? Can you kind of just talk me through that?
So from my perspective, I have to, I don't know how to say it. It's a fighter. It's always good to have fear. I feel like fear helps a little bit. That switch that helped me at that time, I didn't want to do it at all. I just wasn't interested. I feel like this is too painful. Somebody's punching you, kicking you. I just don't want to do it. It wasn't. And my mind was more of a Olympics, judo, Olympics, right? And then when MMA started paying me a little bit, I was like, oh, judo, you don't get paid.
Yeah.
You do it for the love of it, But MMA is paying me so I can feed my family.
Yeah.
But back to the switch. At that time, I just didn't want to do it at all. I was like, no, this is not something. But that switch helped me. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
After that. But that switch, I kept that switch on. And one mistake that I realized that I did as time went on, I thought being nervous and going to a fight, being nervous, being scared, it's a bad thing. So I always wanted to get rid of that. Being nervous, being scared sometimes, not being able to sleep too much. I wanted to get rid of that because I felt like that was not manly. That was cowardice, right? And then I realized it was actually good for me. It's good to have a little fear in you, something that can put you, be caution of other stuff. You don't just go into danger just to go into danger. One thing, the reason why I say it's good, as long as you don't let that fear become cowardice and then you go into the fight and then you just cowering, it's bad. So my last few fights, I was so mad at the world. I don't know if you knew, but something happened to me like 4 years ago. I'll share that story too. Like I said, I've never shared this story with anybody.
Yeah, please
do. The first person. So because Team Takedown disbanded and I didn't have money. So I started working for a bar as a security. So when I was working for them, I was making money to pay the bills because the apartment I was living, there was a lease. But when they cut me off, they start paying for the lease. So now to be able to pay for the lease, and my wife was a teacher at that time. So I would take my son to training with me in the morning, training with him, and then come back home and then give her by that time she's home, give her my son, and then I go back to second training.
Right.
And then after I finish training, I'll go to the bar, and then I'll start working
Okay.
at the bar. At that time, while I was working at the bar, I got into UFC.
Okay.
And now I started making
Good
a little
money.
money.
Yeah.
So people start recognizing me at the bar. Hey, I saw you
Oh,
on
shit,
TV. I
okay.
saw you on TV. So I met these girls over there, and I started messing with them
Mhm.
while I was married. And I guess not knowing these two girls already made their mind that they were trying to fraud me.
Fraud?
Yes.
Okay.
So they accused me of an assault. sexual
Oh,
assault.
shit.
Yes.
Okay.
The good thing that saved me was all this was on camera.
Oh, my God.
That was the only thing that saved me.
Fucking bitches,
Exactly.
man.
If
Fucking
I swear,
bitches.
if it wasn't for the camera and everything, my life would have been. So for me, when all that things were happening to me, I thought it was done. I was done. I'm going to prison, because
Did they just come after you because of the notoriety that you
yes.
had?
So they thought when they accused me, I'll pay them and then
Yeah.
shush everything down, right? At some point, I thought about
Yeah.
paying it, but at the same time, the ego got in, right? And even my wife was like, "You've wronged me more than anybody here," but knowing that what they're doing is wrong and then paying them for what they're doing, I would rather we go through this
Yeah.
for the whole case. So I gave most of the evidence to the court. I was thinking they saw it, they realized, oh, this guy's innocent. No, they didn't care.
They didn't care?
No, they still prosecuted me to go.
Oh, but
through
they
the whole-
had that evidence. Okay.
Yeah. So for 2 years, I was going through that case.
Jesus.
I went through that case for 2 years. All that time, I was fighting these people. And at that time, I thought my life was done, because I was showing them all the evidence, and they still prosecuting me. I was like, okay, one, I have a Muslim name, and I'm black. And also hearing your friends talk about it, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm fucked.
Yeah.
They're gonna crucify me. But the day of the court and everything, and then we even found out more evidence that my lawyer was able to subpoena their phone records and their text message, and my lawyers didn't even tell me. I found this on the day of the court. They planned it a week ahead while they were texting each other.
Oh my God.
A week ahead before they even did that to me. So all this time you're doing something and it was taking long. I was thinking they will feel bad, and then they'll go back and be like, hey, okay, we want to drop the case.
Yeah.
Or something. No, nothing. You had to go through the court for them to see the video that I already have, to humiliate them in the court, for them to
Jesus,
for
man.
us. So at that time, I thought I was done. I didn't want to do MMA anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's no way
There's a lot of shit going on
Yeah.
in your life. Yeah.
And then I won the case. We won, and then they saw that they were lying, so I won the case. Now I'm 250 pounds, fat ass man,
Yeah.
trying to get back into shape. So, and the UFC was like, "Oh, you're back. We'll give you a fight." I'm broke. I'm also in debt, almost like $60,000 already. Besides, almost 200 and 250,000 I already spent on all this kind of stuff. I have no money.
Mhm.
I have debt. My manager was sending me money
Mhm.
to help me pay my bills at
Mhm.
home. So when the UFC was like, "Hey, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll fight right now."
Yeah.
I didn't make weight. All my 3 fights after the case, I didn't make weight, and
Mhm.
I lost all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't care, because I made money to be able to feed my family
Right.
and pay. And then at that time, this is where I'm talking about the fear. I got rid of the fear. I was so upset with the world and upset with every woman that I was
Mhm.
so mad that I would go into a fight. I was not scared anymore. Like, there was no fear in
Yeah.
me. I was just walking there, no fear, nothing. I just
Yeah.
anger. I'm just trying to, all the frustration that I've built for all that 2
Yeah.
years, I didn't give a shit. I was just no fear in me. And all the fight I lost, I realized part of it was because I didn't have awareness, and the fear, the danger. I just walk into danger. I didn't care. So that's
Yeah.
when now I started working myself mentally, bringing myself back. Being scared, fear, is a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
As long as you don't let that fear take over you, and then you become just cowardice that,
Yeah.
So I'm trying to embrace the fear a little bit and channel that to help me.
Yeah.
So my life has been, it's like one hardship after that hardship. after UFC was doing good to me, I was making money, I was winning bonuses, right? I was like, wow, my life is changing. My kids, they don't have to know the pain of not having to get up to not eat in the morning, you know? I was happy, money, there's this food in the fridge, you don't have to worry about. And then boom, those girls did that to me, and then I'm back to zero. It's like,
have you thought about litigation against these fucking cunts for putting you through that?
Yeah, not just them. The cop that arrested me, I found out that the cop that arrested me was a friend of the girl's mom. So when they did the case, they dropped the case. They found out that these girls were just lying.
Yeah.
So they dropped the case, and then the girl's mother friend picked up the case, and then he's the one that went through. So I'm trying to. I don't know if I should be sharing it, but I'm trying to.
You don't have to if you don't.
But the lawyer, I live in Texas, right? My family still live in Texas. I'm trying to move out of Texas. So he told me, look, ask yourself, you're going to win the case. Because we showed them all the line. And him also, he lied to the judge to get an order to come and arrest him.
Okay,
so
warrant.
Pretty much warrant. So pretty much he lied. So he said, you're going to win this case if you file. But at the same time, don't forget, while this case is going on, imagine the trouble you're going to be in with the law in there. They're going to do anything they can to get you in trouble. So, and also he told me the girls. So the girls, I found out also they're both strippers. Yep. And he asked me, right now, you can sue them. When you sue them, all you have to do is file bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And you don't get nothing.
Yeah.
But now the money that you were supposed to make for your family, you already spent it on.
Yeah. Court fees, lawyer fees.
So right now, I'll tell you, just learn from your lessons.
Yeah.
You know, and then just pass.
Yeah, I've gone through some litigation, not like criminal, but just business litigation. And I regret it just because I spent so much time and effort and energy and money and got nothing out of it. So I think that's good advice. Just learn from your mistakes.
I'm praying karma gets them so bad. That's every day my prayer.
Yeah.
I just want those two girls.
Yeah.
I want them to feel the kind of pain that they put me through for that 2 years. That nightmare that when I'm asleep, I'll wake up screaming in my sleep. Like somebody's trying to kill me. That nightmare that I felt for that 2 years. I want them to. I just want karma to hit them.
I know that. I have that same feeling towards some people. And I'm not a fucking Dr. Phil or anything, but I will just say, having gone through the same emotions that you're feeling right now, letting that shit go is the best thing for you. You know, these two strippers, their lives are shitty. If they're going to try to do that to someone else, they're not in a good situation. So karma will eventually get to them. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You've got such a beautiful story, and you're still very young. I mean, you've got your whole life ahead of you to try to utilize some of the benefits that these lessons have taught you and build on them and build a beautiful life. So what a story, man.
And I have good people and good friends around me that really helped me around that. Like in those times, even with all that I was going through, it shows you people who are friends, people with good heart, you know. It's not everybody that have to help you. So I'll get calls. I didn't have to call them. I'll get calls. Like one is Camaro. Called me. It's like, look, bro, I know you're going through stuff. If you need money, all you have to do is call me. I'll help you out. You know, I didn't take it, but him just asking
shows the type of person he is. Yeah.
My manager, he just said, you need money, and then I send money in your account.
Who's your manager? Ali Abdul Aziz?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's why when you can never talk shit about about Ali.
Ali,
I don't
good guy.
Yes.
I will say something about Ali. 3 years ago, when I was in the middle of and I talked about it off air, the insurance policy, I started calling all these managers. I called Paradigm, I called CAA Sports, I called Ali. They all picked up except for Ali. Ali did. I went on his website, Dominance email. I emailed him multiple times. I'm a persistent motherfucker. And he just never responded. So now maybe he sees this and he responds to
Ali, it. He's a busy guy. He's a busy guy. And so I haven't done. You're the first person I've done an interview with since all that thing happened to me.
Wow.
So it's been like, what, 3 years now?
Yeah.
You're the first person.
I feel honored, man, because what a story you're sharing.
You're the first person I'm
Yeah.
sharing that. But Ali, he helped me. So that's why no matter what people will say about Ali, for me, he's amazing.
Yeah,
He's an
yeah.
amazing person. He helped me out through my bad time, and I'm so grateful to UFC too. Very grateful.
Mm-hmm.
When I was going through that situation, a lot of company will not even keep you.
Yeah,
fire
they would
right
drop you.
away.
Yeah.
But they waited to see, hey, prove your innocence. If you prove your innocence, because
Yeah.
a lot of people will be like, no, we don't want to deal
Yeah.
with this. What you're going on, we're gonna catch you. They didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for
Nice.
the opportunity, even though that 3 fights I came in with anger rather than I wanted anger and I wanted to make money,
Yeah.
win or lose. I just wanted
Yeah.
to make money, so I wasn't thinking about winning. I was thinking about money. Hey, even if I lose, I'll make some money.
Some money,
come
right?
home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't make weight, and I now that I think about it, how stupid it was. I know that I was making bad decision because I needed money so bad. I just wanted to fight to make money, but the amount of money I made back, I realized how stupid it was.
Yeah.
With that kind of, because one, I didn't make weight, none of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, I was so stressed and I got to like 250, 240 pounds. So for me to cut weight to 170 pounds,
That's crazy.
that was not possible.
Yeah.
Right? But I wanted the money. And since I missed weight, one, you only make half of your money, and then you have to give 20%
Yeah.
of your money
To the
person.
opponent.
And any bonus that you make, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Because you missed weight. Right?
Yep.
My third one, the guy hit me and then I was out. That fight, I suffered a kidney failure.
In the cut.
I was standing there. I could not even stand. And this is me. I was just
shit.
shaking the whole time. But you're not going to talk me out of that fight. I'm fighting. I'm taking
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
I want that money. I want to go home and
Yeah.
feed my family. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make money to go feed my family. So when I walk in there, what? Not even chance. The guy just threw one punch, right here.
Because you're so dehydrated.
One punch right
Yeah.
here. So when I was at the hospital, I was so pissed off. I was talking to the doctor. Why? I've been training with all these big guys.
Yeah.
They've been punching me so hard. Nobody's ever put me out. And if he punched me here, and he knocked me out, I'll understand. But he punched me here, and he's like, "Dude, do you see the state your body in?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where your body protects you.
Yeah.
He hit you, your
Yeah.
body protected you." I came home. I was taking a shower, watering my hair. My hair was falling off. My whole hair. Literally, I was looking at I was like, wait, why is my hair falling off? And I found out that it was a side effect of
The weight cut.
the kidney failure and all that kind of stuff.
Listen, I'm no expert in fighting, but I've seen some of these cuts,
Yeah.
and I've been around MMA long enough to just know that shit cannot be good for you
No, it's
24 hours before you're fighting another human being. But then it's always that fine line of trying to be the bigger man.
Yes.
So-
Sometimes you get greedy. You're like, I want to be the stronger guy, the bigger guy. Instead of cutting the weight, you don't.
Yeah,
you know.
and just going through camp comfortably, eating throughout
Getting
camp,
through it,
recovering.
yeah.
And then another thing, and your story really highlights this, is how important mental fortitude and having clarity of mind during your training.
Yes.
I mean, I've heard it multiple times, just having like a bad girlfriend who's fucking in your ear while you're trying to, perform.
Exactly. That can affect in so many ways.
Yeah,
People
we'll just
don't
make
realize
sure
it. Yeah.
we can cut this out. This is probably my wife.
Yeah, good.
But yeah, man, the other thing that really stood out to me is just judo. My dad, just as a hobby, did judo growing up. And so when we were kids, he would always like hip throw me. And I always had this special spot in my heart for judo. I think it's such a classy sport.
So, yeah.
But I have a group chat with a couple buddies of mine, and one of the things that we talk about is like, what's the best base for MMA? And I always think wrestling is, but judo also is a very good base.
It is.
Your style, I've seen some of your fights. I've seen limited judo or wrestling in it.
I know.
Do you just like to bang now?
Okay, so that's you're not the only one that says that. Like when I was fighting, especially my 3-4 fight, and I was getting all the knockout. All my fights stopped with a knockout. Even the kickboxings that I did, none of them went to the. And I realized that I have power.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of taking my time, adding everything together, I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I was like, no, why do judo?
Yeah.
It's even way tiring. Let me just go and
Yeah. I get it, man. I love striking. Striking is my favorite. I
Yes.
totally get it. But if you get someone in the clinch, like no one's fucking with you in the clinch,
I
right?
know.
Phil, you can attest to this. I mean, how?
He's taking the bad side of it. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are thinking I don't have a ground game. I don't have, but it's just because I've fallen in love. Even I've realized I watched some of my fights and I'm like, I see myself in so many positions that I could have thrown them easy. Or even when somebody goes to the ground, instead of me going to the ground and fighting them, I just move back. I'm like, come on, let's fight. Because I fell in love
I get it.
with the hands that everybody now, even when I'm fighting people, everybody's taking me down because they're thinking.
I get it.
So now,
There's a couple people at your gym, I think, that do a very good job. One is Curtis, of just showing the takedown.
Yes.
And then in the last fight, Corey, I'm sure you saw that fight.
Yeah.
He was drawing such a big reaction from Song
Yes.
that, I mean, I'm not who am I to talk about like strategic game plan? But I
What
feel
you're
like
saying
if
is
you
right.
have that and you just show it, it's gonna make the person. It's gonna open up your stand up even more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just
That's
me
why.
being-
That's why I love what's his name, Cody and Vinny, because they realize it. They realize how my ground game, how good it was, and they're like, look, why do you not use that? So now they are the people getting me to
Nice. Yeah.
down on that and put that part of my plan instead of going in there. And
Yeah.
just doing it. So right now, that's why I'm happy to have them as my coaches because
They're I think they're one of the best coaches in the
Yes.
world. And I've spent years at Black House and I've spent years with, Kenny Johnson and their coaches, and I've traveled to Sanford just to kind of
nice.
just as a nosy person
Yeah,
sticking
just
my
to
head.
see, yeah.
But Cody, he's been on this podcast and I could tell the guy fucking loves you guys. He loves
Yeah.
his athletes. And
he's
you've
very
got
passionate.
and Vinny's supposed to come on the pod as well, and I could tell that guy, just hearing him after you guys spar, like the speeches he gives,
Yes.
it's powerful stuff. So I'm just I'm still trying to absorb your fucking story. It was so powerful. If you were to take a look at the next 3-4 years of your career, what are your goals? And first of all, what weight class are you fighting at now? Because you don't look like a welterweight.
No, I'm 85.
You're
I fight at
middleweight.
85.
Okay.
My last 3 fights, I've been at 85.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm gonna be at 85 till I get my weight situation down, and then go back to 70. Because if I go to 70 right now, I'm gonna suffer the same kidney failure, and I'm gonna lose the fight.
What's the ideal walk around weight so that you can cut down to 70?
190, 192 or 190?
Just like-
195 is.
And
is
you
the
can make
top.
170 from
Yeah.
Okay.
And to make good, but when I was coming to 170 at that time, I was coming from 240, 230, and then yeah.
And so if someone offered, well, you're injured now, but let's say someone offered you a fight in 10 weeks, could you make the weight?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For 85, yes.
For 85, yeah, okay.
Yes. So this is how bad. This is how I'll share another story. I was in Abu Dhabi. My first fight after the case was coming out, I was in Abu Dhabi, and Kamaru fought the day before, I think, right? And I was cutting weight, and I had a new nutritionist to help me because I knew I was not going to cut the weight. So the guy was like, the guy he couldn't come to Abu Dhabi, so he was doing it from the phone, but the weight cut wasn't going the way I was. So I was with Mo, Kamaru's brother, and Kamaru, I think, left a little bit. So I was on the phone. He called Kamaru and was telling, hey, the weight cut is very bad for Razak. Razak is not, because right now I couldn't even cut. I was laying down. I just, and then Kamaru was on the phone. Kamaru was like, man, bro, I know it sucks, man, but think about your family. Think about how much money you're gonna lose. Get in there and do it. Look, even if you cannot, just put your foot in the sink, just your foot. So, the bathtub, right, with the hot water. So at least your body will still be warming up and doing it. And then I'll put my leg in. I was so drained that even when I put my leg in, I couldn't. Just my feet, I couldn't. I'm like, bro, I cannot. While Kamaru was literally talking to me on the phone, trying to praise me, trying to give me some courage to do it. I couldn't do it. Before the weigh-in, I couldn't even walk to the weigh-in. Mo, you know Mo,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
You know how big he is, right?
Yeah.
He put me on his shoulder right here, and he grabbed me and lifted me up. That's the only way. That's the only reason why I made it to the weigh-in.
Wow.
If not, I would not be able to walk to
And
it.
then you fight 24 hours later. That's fucking insanity to me.
bad.
Yeah.
I fought bad. Weight cut. That's one thing I've realized. Weight cut. If you don't cut it right, if it affects your performance.
Big time.
Big time.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
So,
So you got 85. You won a few fights at that, and then get your body right down to cut down to welterweight.
Yes, and I don't want to do this for long. Within
How old are you now?
37.
37. I'm 37 too.
I'm old, man.
Yeah, so am I. Yeah, the back, the knees are just not the same,
not
right?
the same, yeah.
Yeah.
So within 3 years or something like that,
Nice.
you know, I want to stop, and I want to, you know, open my own gym and help the next
Nice.
generation and
Yeah.
my kids.
Cody and I actually talked about the business side of opening up a gym. I'm sure you can agree. I think MMA is in its infantile stages. It's only been around for 25 years. So if we were to
Yes.
extrapolate this sport over the next 25 years, I foresee it being the number one sport in the world.
Exactly. I think it's
Especially once the public kind of goes through what I went through, which was 2015. I was even less than a casual. I barely even knew so
much about it.
And now I'm a massive fan, so much so that I just train just because I love it.
You love
And so once the global fanhood
get in, so
this sport's going to be huge.
COVID helped a lot.
It
A lot of
did.
people got into it because of
It
COVID,
did.
because they're staying in.
Yeah, and Conor McGregor did. So
Yes.
there's been multiple waves, and now it's just getting bigger and bigger.
Yes.
ESPN.
Yes.
So thank you so much for coming here, man. I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
your
me,
story.
man.
It was a badass story, and I'm
No
excited to
problem.
see you perform in the next few years.
For sure, man. And I know I didn't go through. I gave you a short of them, but hopefully next time we talk again, and
Absolutely.
I'll give you even a longer version.
I would love to have you on again.
Yeah,
Thank you so
man.
much, man.
Thanks for having
All
me,
right.
man.
Cheers.
Yeah.